The officer is smiling at you right now, and you are about to hand him everything he needs. Quick question before we go any further. Drop the yes or a no in the comments right now. Have you ever answered a cop's question without even thinking twice about it? Just opened your mouth and said whatever came out? Here is what most people do wrong. They think the traffic stop is a conversation. They think the officer is just being friendly. They have no idea that every single word they say is being recorded and can be used against them later. This is exactly where things fall apart. You are sitting in your car. Your heart is beating fast. The officer walks up and says something that sounds totally normal, something that sounds like small talk. And you answer it. You answer it like you would answer a friend. And just like that, you gave him exactly what he needed. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. They think staying quiet is rude. They think talking freely makes them look innocent. They think that if they just explain themselves, the officer will understand and let them go. That is not how this works. Here's the truth. Officers are trained to ask questions that sound harmless. They are trained to get you talking. Once you start talking, it is very hard to stop. And everything you say can be written in that officer's report. That report can follow you all the way into a courtroom. This happens every single day across this country. Regular drivers, good people, people who were not even doing anything serious. They talked their way into a much bigger problem than they started with. And nobody ever told them this could happen. The problem is not that you are a bad person. The problem is that nobody taught you how a traffic stop actually works. You were never told what those friendly questions are really for. You were never told that a smile and a casual tone can be a tool used against you. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. And that is exactly why you are here right now. Because you want to be ready. You want to know what to say and what not to say before it happens to you. I have gone through hundreds of real traffic stop recordings, Bodycam footage, court records, real accounts from drivers who learned these lessons the hard way. And I see the same mistake happen again and again. The officer asks a warm, simple, friendly question. The driver answers it fully and freely, and that answer becomes the foundation of the case against them. I have seen it happen to people who thought they had nothing to hide. I have seen it happen to people who were genuinely trying to cooperate. Knowing what I'm about to share with you changes everything. Here's the first move, and it is the one that protects you before you even say a single real word. The setup question you will hear most often sounds like this. The officer walks up and says, "Do you know why I pulled you over today?" It feels like a normal question. It feels like maybe if you guess right, he will respect you for being honest. So most people answer it. They say something like, "I think I was going a little fast," or "I might have rolled that stop sign back there," and just like that, they confessed. The officer did not have to prove anything. You handed it to him for free. That question is not small talk. It is an invitation to confess. It is one of the oldest moves in the traffic stop playbook. The officer may not have enough evidence yet, but if you fill in the blanks for him, now he does. Say exactly this, "I'm not sure, officer. Can you tell me?" That phrase does something powerful. It puts the burden back where it belongs. It is the officer's job to tell you why he stopped you, not your job to guess and confess. By saying this, you're not being rude. You're not being difficult. You're simply not doing his job for him. You are calm. You are polite. And you have not said a single thing that can be used against you. That is what smart looks like at a traffic stop. Now, this next one is where most people completely fall apart. After the officer tells you why he stopped you, the follow-up question almost always comes fast. He might say, "Were you in a hurry today?" Or "Where are you headed?" Or "How long have you been driving tonight?" These questions sound like a friendly conversation. They sound like he is just making small talk while he runs your license. But every single one of those questions is designed to get information out of you, information that can be used to build a case. If you say you were in a hurry, that can suggest you were speeding on purpose. If you say where you are going, that can be used to establish a pattern or a timeline. If you say how long you have been driving, that can come up later if there is any question about fatigue or impairment. None of these feel like dangerous questions. That is the whole point. Say exactly this. I would rather not answer questions without speaking to an attorney first. Now, before you panic, let me be really clear. You do not have to be under arrest to say this. You do not have to be in serious trouble. This phrase is your right. It is protected. The Fifth Amendment, which is your legal right to not say things that could hurt you in court, covers this moment. Saying this does not make you look guilty. It makes you look like someone who knows their rights. Officers hear this, and they know the conversation about your personal business is over. You just became someone who cannot be talked into a corner. Quick reminder before we keep going, because I want to be straight with you. Everything in this video is for education only. I'm not your lawyer. This is not legal advice. Every situation is different, and laws can vary by state. If you're dealing with something serious right now, please talk to a licensed attorney in your state. They are the only ones who can give you real advice for your specific situation. Okay, now back to it. Are we learning this together or what? Drop a comment right now and tell me which one of these you had no idea about. I genuinely want to know what hit different for you. We are all in this together, and the more people who know this stuff, the better. Now, here's the third move, and this one catches people off guard every single time. Here is what happens after you have been polite and careful so far. The officer might shift gears. He might say, "You seem nervous. Is everything okay?" Or, "You look like you are in a rush. What is going on?" This feels like concern. It feels like he is checking on you as a person. But what he is really doing is giving you a reason to explain yourself. And when you explain yourself, you start talking. And when you start talking, things come out that you did not plan to say. Nervousness is not a crime. Being in a hurry is not a crime. But if you start explaining your nervousness, you might accidentally say something that raises a red flag. You might say you're nervous because you are late for something, and that something might lead to more questions. It never stops once you start. Say exactly this: "I'm always a little nervous around traffic stops, officer." I think most people are. This phrase is brilliant in its simplicity. It normalizes your nervousness without explaining it away. It is honest. It is calm. It is something almost any person could say truthfully. It does not give the officer a thread to pull on. Say exactly this: "I'm always a little nervous around traffic stops, officer." I think most people are. This phrase is brilliant in its simplicity. It normalizes your nervousness without explaining it away. It is honest. It is calm. It is something almost any person could say truthfully. It does not give the officer a thread to pull on. It closes the door on that line of questioning without being rude or evasive. You are not lying. You are not hiding. You are simply not handing over more than you need to. Nervousness is human. Knowing how to handle it calmly is power. Now, the fourth move is one that people never think about until it is way too late. The officer finishes writing your ticket or gives you a warning. Then he pauses. He says, "Hey, real quick, do you mind if I take a look in your car?" He says it like it is the most normal thing in the world, like everyone says yes. Most people say yes because they feel like saying no makes them look suspicious. They think they have nothing to hide, so what is the harm? They do not know that they just gave up the right against unreasonable searches. If you say yes, you just gave him permission. Now anything he finds is fair game. Say exactly this: "I do not consent to any searches, officer." This phrase is your legal shield. Consent means you are agreeing to something voluntarily. If he searches anyway without a reason, anything he finds could be thrown out in court. Share this video with someone who drives right now because what they do not know could hurt them. Now here is the fifth move that wraps everything together at the end. The stop is not fully over when the officer says you are free to go. He might say, "Hey, is there anything else you want to tell me before you leave?" Say exactly this: "I think I have said everything I need to say." Have a good day, officer. You now know the real version of traffic stops that protects you when things get tense. When asked if you know why you were pulled over, do not guess and confess. Politely ask him to tell you. If he asks personal questions, ask for an attorney. If he asks to search your car, clearly and firmly say you do not consent. You are not helpless. You know exactly what those questions are designed to do. The next time you get pulled over, use at least one of these lines and tell me what happened. Know your rights, use your words, drive protected.